Should we just try to do like a little bit of a half top hair thing? This is considered cheating, definitely, but I mean, she's cheating too. Ooh, okay. It's a no for me. Crap. Hello YouTube fam and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another eye makeup tutorial for you guys. This is a foxy eye for a hooded eye. It's going to be very technical and I'm going to show you my best tips and tricks to lift a eye that is hooded like mine. As you can see, there's quite a lot of skin hanging on top of my lid, and I also have a slightly downwards tilting eye. I know that the foxy eye tutorial is very popular right now. There's like trillions of them floating around on YouTube. Everyone and their mama are doing it. Hello. So I know, but I wanted to do one for my eye type. So there's quite a lot of different foxy eye makeup looks that Bella Hadid does, but the one I chose I felt was just the colors and the placement of the shadows are just the best for a hooded eye. Now, here are two very important points. There will be no shaving off of eyebrow ends. I wouldn't suggest it if you have my eye type. If I remove a little bit of my brow, which I have tried to do before by the way, and it was not a successful look, I just feel like that it kind of accentuates my hood and like the heaviness of this area right here. If I have a little tail going on, that kind of frames my eye and it feels like my hood isn't as prominent. The second thing is, we all know all these supermodels that are currently inspiring this eye makeup, they've had a little bit of work done, right? I mean, this is the way that they look. To me, it looks crazy. Okay. If you like that look, go ahead and do that look. I just don't find it particularly nice. I just thought that this would be a great opportunity for me to share my tips and tricks on how I create a lifted eye with the help of makeup. We're not going to be able to reach the goal of looking like Bella Hadid. I just didn't want to do like any false advertising. This channel is all about being realistic, isn't it? As usual, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I want my channels to be a space where we take a as realistic as we just talked about and true but also fun approach to beauty. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, you have found your place in this YouTube world. I also only do cruelty-free beauty and I'm a small channel. For all the small channels that you follow, engagement is everything for YouTube to pick us up and spread our content. So if you watch a video and you like it, I think that you should always try to have it as a habit to like it, or send a question away in the comments, or just give it a little heart emoji. That's all we really want, isn't it? Love from internet strangers. Without further ado, let's get into this makeup look. Okay. First things first, what you always want to do with a hooded eye is prime it. So I'm going to use the NYX Proof It Waterproof Eyeshadow Primer. I haven't decided yet what I think about this one. So it seems like when I apply a little bit too much, it becomes sticky and doesn't dry down fully, which means that like my eyeshadow becomes patchy and sticks to my lid in like unflattering ways. So the palette that I'm mainly going to use today is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance. I mean, I use this almost in all my tutorials because it's my go-to neutral palette. But the color that I'm going to use mostly is Raw Sienna. So it's kind of this like warm, light brown color, kind of camel. And then to like deepen my crease, I will go in with Cypress Umber, which is this dark brown. I'm gonna go in with kind of like this tapered brush just to start placing my colors. So I'll go into that Raw Sienna. I'm gonna tilt my head backwards and I'm gonna place the brush right in the end of my crease. And then I'm gonna tilt my head forward and I'm just gonna swipe that color right in my crease, just so I know where to start with my placement. Don't go too far down because we wanna do like a lift. So kind of right where my fold is the heaviest, it's right here. That's where I'm placing that shadow, and that's just my starting point, and we're gonna blend outwards too. So I'm gonna grab a blending brush and I'm gonna start just lightly blending that both upwards and outwards. And when I look at her, eyeshadow. It is being drawn all the way in, but on the inner corner it's not going very far up. It's just kind of like above the crease. But on the outer corner, it's like it's going from the middle all the way to the tail of the brow. So it's kind of like a horizontal placement from the middle of the eye until the tail. So that's how we're gonna blend it today too. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back with that taper brush and I'm gonna extend inwards. So going into the middle and then just dragging the color in, right in the crease. So you see that? And then just blending that, as I said, kind of just in the crease because you don't want to blend that too far upwards. The way we're going to create an illusion of a lift is that, you know, we want it to kind of go like this. I'm going to go in and just build this up with a little bit more color. So just placing that right there and then blending towards the tail of my brow. I also try to not make it too sharp because hers is very like blended and it isn't like a defined cat eye. And just adding a little tiny bit on my lower lash line. She doesn't have a whole lot going on her lower lash line, but there is a little bit of that dark color going on just on like the outer basically quarter of her lower lash line. Now I'm gonna go in with that tapered brush once again. I'm gonna pack it with that raw sienna and I'm just gonna cover my entire lid with that color. Usually with a hooded eye, you don't want to drag the dark colors all the way in because you want to keep at least your inner lid space kind of light and bright and opened up because it helps open up your eye. But since this color isn't that dark, that's fine. If you ignore the little bit of discoloration I've got going on right here, you can see that the shadow is going upwards. This is optional, you can do it if you want to, but I'm going to deepen it up with a little bit of that Cypress Umber deep brown, just a little tiny bit, concentrated right here, just to give a little bit more depth. I don't even know if this will be visible because I want to be so careful with this amount, but I'm placing it just right above that fold, and then I'm just blending. This is what it looks like right now. I mean, ignore the fact that my face is completely asymmetrical and the eyes are very different, but you can see that there's like this shadow going upwards right here, and this eye is not nearly as lifted. So we're getting there. The next step is tight lining. We've done this before. We're gonna go in with the black and we're gonna line our lash line from below. So it's gonna give us depth, it's gonna give us fullness, but we're not gonna take up any lid space. And I'm gonna grab my angled brush and a black kohl liner. And I'm just gonna grab some on that angled brush very gently. And you see right away that there's a little bit of black going on. And I'm just gonna do that all the way out. I just love this trick. I mean, look at the difference between my two lash lines. If you take a look at her inner corner, it looks like they've tight lined the inner tear duct too, and it looks like they've done it with like a brown kajal or something, but I don't have a brown one, so I'm just going to use this black one once again. We might add a little bit more than what she has going on because she's not that much in need of that lift that I am with a little bit of a droopy eye. Whatever's left on that brush, I'm just going all the way in, and then I'm also going a little bit on my lower lash line inner tear duct part. I don't even know what to call it. So I am going to make a tiny flick just because I feel like that effect will help me a tiny bit more with the lift. So if I have an angle going downwards a little bit on my inner corner, and then if I have some tricks with the outer corner getting lift, it will further make my eye more vertical. Just the tiniest little flick. Yeah, so ours is definitely more visible than hers, but as I said, we are a little bit more in need of it than she is. I mean, look at the difference of my eyes already. What I can see next is that on her outer corner, she does have a little bit of black going on her upper lid. It's not a winged liner. Hers is more just, it looks like they put a bit of black, like just right above her lash line. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that, and then we'll see if we wanna do like a small little tiny, just a tiny little wing. But I'm gonna start with, once again, that angled brush and that kohl liner just to further thicken up our lash line. And don't go too far down, because as I said in my previous videos, if you go too far down, you're just gonna add on that droopiness. I will make it very thin right at the start of that line, and then I will thicken it up a little bit as we go out. Once again, it's another trick of like creating a more horizontal line. It's almost the same as that shadow. So if you do like a horizontal line on your lid that is going downwards, that's going to be a little bit of an uplifting effect. So it's kind of like I'm going towards that fold, if that makes sense. I'll see, maybe like after I put on mascara, I'll want to elongate that outwards a little bit more. Too, I'm gonna go in and just grab that tapered brush and very lightly just smudging on top of that liner and smoke out that black. Yes. So she does have a little bit of shimmer going on. I don't have a good shimmer in that palette, so I'm just gonna go into my Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Eyes palette. I'm gonna go in with the color, where is it? There it is, Glass. And start at the inner corner and lightly start tapping. So placing a glitter or a light shadow on your inner corner is gonna help open that inner corner up, which is what you want when you have a hooded eyelid. Because you want to keep as much lid space as possible. I will also place some right on my inner tear duct. So I just went in and I added a tiny bit more on my lash line so that you can see that like when I relax, it's a little bit of a flick upwards. All right, so our next step is mascara, and for me with tiny baby lashes, it's very important for me to curl my lashes. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to concentrate my mascara on my, you know, outer portion of my eye, and I'm gonna make the strokes a lot more horizontal than vertical. I think they put a few individual lashes on just her outer edge. I'm not gonna do that because I wanna make it very easy and doable and natural for like the everyday person. So I know that a lot of people find individual lashes especially very difficult to apply because they are. So I'm not gonna do that to you. So we're gonna just stick to mascara. I'm just going to create a few strokes and I'm dragging the lashes. Okay, don't panic. Okay, I'm gonna let that mascara dry and then I'm gonna go in with a Q-tip and try to save that. I almost completely removed that. It's still a little bit there, but what can I do? So we're gonna grab that angled brush again and that black kohl liner, and we are going to line our waterline, but we're just going to line the maybe last quarter of our outer waterline. I'm going to go and do my other eye and my base, and I will be back to finish up this tutorial. All right guys, I'm back. I did this eye and I also did my base. If you want me to do a base makeup tutorial, how I do my everyday base, kind of medium coverage, kind of semi-matte. I always forget this word. I'll put it here. But if you want me to do a base makeup tutorial for this base, I will add a comment in the comment section. I will attach to the top, and if you give it a like, I can see kind of the interest of a base makeup tutorial. So before we finish up this, I'm gonna give you two last tips. So the first one is regarding the blend. Now, as you can see, my shadow is going, as I said, quite horizontal from the middle of my lid out towards the tail of my brow. But if you lift it up too much right here, I just go in with a little bit of a light color. I use this one called Tempera. It's kind of like this very light, almost egg white color. And I just grab a little bit on a brush and I just go in right here in the middle and I kind of level that brown out And then I go in with that blending side. The next tip is concealer, and I already did conceal my under eyes, but if you feel like you've taken the brown too far down, or if you have a little bit of discoloration like I've got right here, I like to use a pink tone concealer. So I take a little bit on my ring finger, and then I just lightly start and I tap that discoloration away. For this look, I don't want a sharp line of eyeshadow on the outer corner. I want it to be blended and like soft like this. So I just find that tapping it lightly on with your ring finger covers up that dark on your under eye. Okay guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this Foxy Eye makeup for hooded eyes. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, I don't know. And hopefully I will see you in the next one.